Alright. Twitch. Race Spec. Stream up. Yep, audio's working as it should. Streams up, chat's up, we're ready to go. Just be waiting on the ready up signal to be given, I guess. Oh, there's Spud. So we got 14 then. Oh, and he's in a Ferrari. That'll be the first time I've seen him in a Ferrari, I reckon.
I guess he just wants to make most of the Las Vegas livery, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see it again.
Yep.
See it until it eventually disappears.
Yep.
It's a shame because usually a lot of the alternate designs that they make over the year are better than their usual designs. Because usually for the one-offs they allow for more creative freedom. Makes it a lot nicer.
Yeah, I was happy to see it in person at least.
In your case, yeah, actually see it out on track.
Yeah. It did hit a drain cover, but we know Carl Sainz doesn't want to talk about it.
Not his fault.
Not his fault, no, but the FIA thought otherwise.
Oh, by the rules that are written, he had to get a penalty, which is very stupid, and I hope that they rewrite the rules so that doesn't happen again, because that is really dumb.
Oh yeah, no, I know, I agree.
Alright folks, it's showtime. Don't know what kind of show we're getting, but we're getting a show. Good show, bad show, a mess show, we'll find out together. Time to wrap up this championship. Hello everyone and welcome to round 15 of the Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your lead commentator for this event. And this time we'll be competing at Silverstone Circuit for the British Grand Prix. Considered to be one of the most legendary circuits of them all, Silverstone has turned itself from a RAF airfield used during the Second World War into one of the premier racing facilities in all of Europe. The venue was first used all the way back in 1950 as the very first round of the Formula One World Championship, and over the course of the following 73 years the circuit has evolved tremendously. The Monday layout on which we race on today measures up at 5.89 kilometres and consists of 18 corners and 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Brooklands and Stowe. Drivers can also attempt to pass into the hairpin of Village and into the Val chicane at the end of the lap, so seemingly there are plenty of areas to try and pass. However, even with the plethora of overtaking opportunities, drivers will still need to qualify well, as DRS trains are usually quite common to see during the races. Now, before we focus on this here qualifying session, there's a little bit of news to go through first from the previous race over in Abu Dhabi. Now, there weren't any incident reports submitted in by the drivers last week. As a result, the final finishing positions from that race remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it's Jack Humphreys leading the way on 341 points, followed by CZK on 284.57 points behind. Big Al is P3 on 210, so CZK has essentially secured second in the Drivers' Championship. Sebastian Spicer is P4 on 166, followed by Potsy, who rounds out the top 5 on 135. In the Teams Championship, it's still to play for. Mercedes-AMG lead on 406 points, but neither of their full-time drivers are here tonight. Alfa Romeo are P2, they're on 351. So if they end up scoring 55 points this round, they can secure, or have the opportunity to secure, the team's championship. McLaren are also in a similar boat on 343 points. They have to score 60... with only one car here, I don't think that's possible. So McLaren aren't in the fight. So it's down to Alfa Romeo then with CZK and Jinbin. If they can score 55 points between themselves, they have a chance of securing the team's championship. We'll complete the table with AlphaTauri in 4th on 295, followed by Red Bull on 222. Then we have Aston Martin 197, Ferrari on 149, Williams on 135, then Haas on 127, Alpine complete the table on 99 points. Alongside me as always is KD 1997. KD, the final round is a sprint round here at Silverstone. So we get 2 races for the price of 1. You're expecting decent racing during the sprint here at Silverstone?
Well, I probably would say that's the big case. I mean, we have seen some good racing in the years that we've watched, both in virtual and real life here at Silverstone. Of course, it's the most historic racetrack on the modern calendar, of course, being the birthplace of Formula 1, as we all know. But, yeah, the racing, though, we know will be close. DRS trains are going to be a big thing around this racetrack, as we have seen in the past. But yeah, as a sprint round for a final round championship, I don't mind it actually for Silverstone being the final round of the championship. It's interesting, even though I prefer it to Lagos mainly, but still though, Silverstone's a good final round, I would say.
We've got Sebastian Spicer making his way around the racetrack. He's about to begin a flying lap. Right on board with the AlphaTauri driver. We're going to give you a tour of this 5.9 kilometre Silverstone Circuit. Around Club Corner and onto the Hamilton Straight, he'll begin the flying lap by sending it down towards Turn 1. Abbey, this incredibly fast right-hander, flat out through there as he heads around Turn 2 and up towards Village, Turn 3, this right-hand hairpin. 3rd gear, back on the power as we head around the loop at Turn 4. Up towards the kink of Aintree, this is Turn 5. We'll head onto the Wellington Straight, up towards Brooklands, one of the better overtaking spots on the racetrack. Braking at the 50 board, down to 5th gear, back on the power as we head around Luffield, Turn 6. 4th gear, back on the power. Reaching full throttle just before the outside curb, we'll head around Woodcote, Turn 7. Down the old pit straight and we head towards Turn 9, Cops Corner. 8th gear through there, one of the fastest corners on the racetrack. Now into the infamous exits, Maggots, round Turn 11, then Turn 12, then Beckett, 13, and then 14. Oh, he's validated the lap.
Yeah, he validated going to Maggots.
Shame. Right on board with him still. He is continuing to push. Round Stowe, Turn 15. We'll head up towards the final 3 corners on the circuit, Turn 16, 17, and then the final turn of 18. He would have done a 25.6. He would have went quickest out of the time set so far. A lot of drivers out there on intermediate tyres, Katie, just trying to set benchmark times for themselves.
Quite a common thing we've seen so far in Elite Series. But it's no rules against it. It's what drivers decided to do. Powder, meanwhile, decides to put his time on the board with 0.98 on the softs. Not sure if that's a representable time there for his knowing his pace, but it's yeah, that's what he's got at the moment.
Ryan Bell's about to finish a flying lap as he heads through the Vale chicane, turns 16 and 17, and around the final corner he goes. He's going to set a 24.9. He annihilates the field by a decent chunk.
Well, yeah, 24.9 as a banker, that's fast. That is very, very fast.
I suppose you shouldn't expect anything less from a driver like Bell.
Like him. Yeah, exactly. I guess you expect nothing else. Oh, hello, Kebab doing a bit of rallycross in there, I've just saw there. If you were not on board, he was doing a bit of rallycross at Maggots and Beckett's.
Matt Plevy's just jumped up to second. He's done a 25.8. Of course, Silverstone no stranger to rallycross. Not on the Grand Prix circuit, of course, but on the Stowe circuit on the inside of the racetrack. I've hosted the British round of the World Rallycross Championship on a few occasions. But yeah, typically speaking, you're not meant to cut the racetrack. Usually, you wouldn't want to do that. Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you get reported.
Well, no one's done it yet, so say la vie, I suppose.
I guess.
I've got a Red Bull arriving on the scene. The Red Bull says, no, mate, no, you stay in front. So Jim Bin says very well. He's going to get on with the lap. I'm guessing that would be Stevenson. No, it is Bell on an inlane.
Ryan. Yeah. Jim Bin's about to start his lap.
Alright, out of club corner onto the Hamilton straight. Shifting up into 7th gear. Up into top gear. No, he uses 7th and then shifts up to 8th. At the apex of Abbey. Interesting. I thought he'd shift up a little bit earlier. Up towards the loop hairpin. 4th gear. Eventually reaches full throttle. Had a lot of throttle modulation there at the exit of the hairpin as we head up towards Brooklands. This will complete the first sector. 328 kilometers an hour. But drags it all the way down to just under 170. As he goes around the long right-hander of Luffield. Up towards Woodcote, absolutely flat out through this right-hander. Up towards Copse now. It's important that you get the line right through here. Try and maximise the full width of the racetrack. Jim Bin does that pretty well. Now the Maggots, Beckett's, Cheppel, S's. Nice and quick. Drags it down to 6th gear for turn 13. Almost dragged the car out onto the grass. Managed to keep control, there or thereabouts, as he heads up towards Stowe. A lot of cracks on the accelerator there. Trying to pick the right moment to reach full throttle. Through the chicane, 3rd gear. And then around the final turn to complete the lap. It's going to be a 25.9, just behind that Plevy. Stevenson's around, that's at 13.
Yeah. That is.
How the hell do you do that?
Yeah. Talent, I guess?
Must have.
I suppose. Yeah, it's not in the right direction at least. Still though.
Got Apollo out on track. His performances of late have looked particularly strong. Be looking to carry that momentum here at Silverstone. 8th gear, using a decent chunk of curb on the outside of Copse. As we flow through Maggots, round turn 11, then 12, then 13. This is Beckett's. Then turn 14. Beckett's wasn't particularly great. Had to reset the throttle there to make sure the nose turned in. Up towards Stowe now. On the anchors, down to 6th gear. Someone's... Oh! That was a moment for Apollo. Running wide after losing control. Ruins the lap. Going to try and complete it regardless. Try and put a time on the board. He's going to do a 27.8. That was CZK who just jumped up. It was a 25.2 the time he's done. It's good enough for P2. But still about 2.5 tenths off provisional pole.
Yeah, still got a bit ways to go on that. Still, yeah, still a decent banker, but yeah, that's a bit of time you need to catch up, especially for a high-speed track like this too.
It's difficult to find that kind of time where you're absolutely maxing it through every corner.
Yeah.
Around some of the more technical circuits, you could probably find that time. But this is technical, no doubt. But the corners are very, very fast, so time loss. It's a bit difficult to find it. Try and get that time back. As ACW crosses the line to go up to 3rd with a 25.5. Spicer out on track, making his way through the hairpins in the first sector. They were added all the way back in 2010. Onto the Wellington Straight up towards Brooklands. One of 3 drivers yet to put a time down. Kebab's another. He's heading around Copse. And Big Al, he's heading into the loop hairpin. Kebab through the Maggots and Beckett's S's. Down to 6th gear. Full throttle through Chapel and onto the hangar straight. Open DRS and send it up towards turn 14. Yellows. Slow moving Aston Martin. That would potentially be Matt Plevy getting ready to set a flying lap.
Yeah, it was.
One corner left now for the Williams driver. Back onto the main straight. It's a 25.6. 4 fastest for him. Just in front of Eye Contrast in P5. Spicer will be the next car to cross the line. He's got under 6 minutes left in qualifying as well. Don't have a lot of time left to do one more lap.
Oh, that's not a very good moment there from Spicer. He definitely went wide under the curb, a club. And yeah, goes only 3rd quickest. I reckon he lost maybe a couple of tenths in that.
As Big Al makes his way through the Vale chicane and up towards the final corner. Running a bit wide himself. He'll cross the line to jump up to P3. 25.288. He's only a few hundredths off CZK.
Still got a bit of a margin though to pole position by 3 tenths. 3 tenths.
And he hasn't even come out to do a second run yet. He's waiting. Oh, as Mr. Zach has a moment out of turn 3, spinning his Ferrari round.
Supposedly, Spinall took on the radio and chatted Spinalla to him in his earphones.
Gave him the order.
I've done that before because I've been given those sort of orders before.
Mr. Stevenson heading round Copse Corner, 8th gear through there, and up towards the S's now. Yellow's out again. That'll be Matt running out of fuel through the final sector. I would guess why he's going so slow. Onto the hangar straight. Stevenson 2.7. Now, if I compare that to someone like Spicer, I think he did a 2.2 to the middle sector split, if I recall. Might have been someone else.
Yeah, well, he's probably targeting, I'd say, at least maybe a low 26 or maybe a high 25. Low 26. I was right the first time. 26.273. That's what he just done.
11th fastest, just outside of the top 10. He's not terribly far outside of the top 10. He only has to improve by a few hundredths and he could grab Zach, but in order to jump up any further, you'll have to find a few tenths. With Jim Bin occupying 9th with a 25.9. 1 second then, separating the top 9 cars.
Absolutely. And Apollo's on an outlap going through Copse Corner. Which also, if anyone remembers in the old times of Formula 1, that used to be the first corner of the racetrack.
Yeah,
Copse
wasn't
Corner.
that a great idea? I mean, in fairness now, we've just got a more open Copse Corner as turn 1 with Abbey. So,
well, yeah.
I suppose it hasn't changed that much, but yeah, Copse is definitely a much more notorious corner compared to Abbey, but the effect's all the same. But yeah, they made the wide decision of moving the pit lane from the old main straight to what is now known as the Hamilton Straight, as Apollo gets on the power a bit too soon there, loses the back end briefly, as he begins his, what could be his final flying lap attempt through Abbey, round turn 2, and up towards the village hairpin. 2.5 minutes left in qualifying, so if he does make a mistake, he does have enough time to just back the car off, reset and have another go as he heads up towards Aintree, onto the Wellington Straight, up towards the first sector split. Current PB at 27.8, not the best lap he's ever done. Made a huge mistake at Stowe that cost him a massive amount of time, and he's currently up in the first sector. Not too bad out of Luffield as well. Heads around Woodcote up towards Copse Corner, 8th gear. Flashing red light, so this will be his one and only run of the session, KD. He won't have enough fuel to do another run.
Nope, this is his only attempt he's got. Goes through Maggots and Beckett's. I'm probably see a bit. Well, I was gonna say a little bit better, but he kind of made the same error he did about the last run he did. CZK retires also from the session.
Okay, well, I guess he's not doing any better than that 25.2 he's done right now.
I guess.
Either that or he's not paid attention to the clock.
Maybe not. Hasn't crashed anywhere. But anyway, Apollo though does put in the time, a more representable time, 25.7, putting himself in P8. In an Aston Martin sandwich of all things too, pretty much.
Trapped between Contrast and Plevy. We'll see how those two fare later on in a few seconds time. Right now Ryan Bell begins his final flying lap attempt, current PB 24.9. Let's see how far he can move the goalposts, shall we? Up towards the turn 3 hairpin. Down to 4th gear. Gets back on the power. Heads around the hairpin of 4. Around the turn 5 King. Onto the Wellington straight. DRS open. 7th gear. 8th gear. Clock says he's down by 0.02 of a second. Out of Brooklands now. He'll head around Luffield. 4th gear. A lot of off-throttle there, a lot of lifting at the apex of 7. It's on the power nice and briskly. With a lot of time off-throttle, up towards Cops, turn 9. Flat out, as you'd kind of expect. Through Cops, yellow flags ahead, it's a slow-moving Alpine. That'll be Apollo, who is out of fuel. Or maybe a bit too soon, yeah, it was. Too early turning in, wasn't it? Had to turn out.
Yep. And the tires on. Oh dear, hopefully that doesn't impede anybody.
Well, the next car coming is an Alpha Tauri. Must be Bags.
Bags. Yeah. No, the car's on the Marshall post, thankfully.
But yeah, turned in far too soon for the apex and steered out of it. And the car just lost all grip after that point. It was like it was doing a Scandinavian flick. Scandinavian flick in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
Liddell to P10 then. What about the rest of the field? ACW jumps to 4th with a 25.3. We've got Kebab. He's done a 3 himself. He's beaten ACW by a few thousandths of a second. Big Al is currently down in the middle sector. He's got 1 sector left to try and recuperate some time. You don't find it by doing that. Real sideways at turn 14. He's pushed hard, perhaps a bit too hard.
And Plevy gets to P6 ahead of Spicer, at least for now. Who was also 2.5 tenths up, by the way. Contrast moves up to P5. Spicer moves up to P3 with a 125.259.
Just missed out on the front row start by 18 thousandths of a second. Pato crosses the line and he jumps up to P9. The last car to cross the line in this qualifying session. Bit of drama here and there, that's kind of what you tend to expect. Ryan Bell at the top of the field with that 24.9. CZK alongside him on the front row. With Spicer P3, followed by Big Al, Kebab, I Contrast, ACW, Plevy, Pato, and then Apollo Pepsi rounds out the top 10. We have Jim Bin P11, followed by Warren, Liddell, and Stevenson starting from the back. 14 cars separated by 1.3 seconds. If you take Stevenson out, it's less than a second separating top 13. Not a bad qualifying, but Bell's lap at benchmark time, it was just too good, KD.
1 lap he had to do, and then it was a very early into qualifying. Didn't even need to improve whatsoever, even though he did decide to do another lap. But yeah. 24.9, very good lap indeed. Only car to be in the 124s.
Reminder as well, Alfa Romeo need to score 55 points over the course of this round to try and challenge Mercedes for the team's championship. There are 10 points for a race win and a sprint. Second place gets you 9, so a potential of 19 points available. And even more available in the main race itself. We've got CZK starting on the front row. I believe Jinbin is down in 10th or 11th place, so he needs to try and gather up a few positions, try and score a few nice points for himself or the team. Give themselves a chance of trying to secure that team's championship. Oh. I imagine, KD, everyone will be starting on the mediums.
Yeah, typical trend from whenever we do these sort of sprint rounds. And wouldn't be surprised either. Although we only had one occasion though we've seen drivers go more than we expect to be on the soft tire. That was back in Vegas. Funny enough.
Let's
Anyway, here we
see
go.
what they
Red lights.
do now. We're underway here in Silverstone. It's a nice start from the front row. CZK trying to challenge down into turn 1, but Bell, he's got the better start. Up towards turn 2, Al and Spicer side by side. Further back in the field, they're squabbling almost 3 wide as they head round turn 3. Everyone getting through, running wide is Pato. He's forced down the inside. He's on the soft tyre, no less. So is the Haas in front, and so is that Alpine spinning!
Oh, that's Apollo. Oh, dear. Well, we said he's had a good race in the good races in the past couple of weeks, and unfortunately, not off to the greatest of starts. Neither has Zach Warren, because he's got a missing end plate on his Ferrari.
Dear, oh dear. Towards the front, it's been relatively tidy. Bell leads from CZK, then Al. Spicer 4, followed by ACW, then Kebab in the Williams. They're making their way round turn 9. Jinbin gets Warren, understandably so, considering what you've mentioned, KD, with the missing end plate. So Warren will have to stop. So yeah, a bit of drama further back when the field concertina's up into that hairpin. It's not terribly surprising, is it, to see an incident like that?
No, we've seen these in some time in the past, and meanwhile though, there's a couple of side-by-side actions as well. ACW, Sebastian Spicer, Pato and Kebab were side-by-side through through Stoke, my bad.
I've done that
they're
before,
still
don't worry.
Yeah, as ACW still keeps position. Pato though gets quite a bit interested in that rear diffuser of the Alpha Tower as we end the first lap with Ryan Bell lead by 3/10.
Well, my prediction of everyone starting on the mediums is completely wrong. We got a fair few starting on the softs. One of them was Apollo Pepsi, but he's retired. Understandably, like, the likelihood of a safety car coming out in a 9-lap race is pretty low. So, I get it. But yeah, with him out, we've still got 5 cars on the softs.
Yeah, exactly. Something I did not expect though, ACW was someone I wasn't expecting to be on the soft tire. I would say out of that entire soft running field. Yeah, no, we got the majority on the mediums. What is that? 4? We got 5 on the softs. Yeah, a bit more than what I expected, at least. Just a little bit more.
It'd be interesting to see how ACW can play himself into this battle for the lead. On those soft tyres, he should have grip, but at the moment, it looks like he's losing a little bit of time to the front runners.
Yeah, he's not really gaining anything, is he? Because you need to get going. Because when you're on the soft tyres, you have to get going immediately. And right now he's stuck at 4th, and yeah, he's just not going anywhere.
It looked like he was gaining a bit on the straight, so perhaps he might be running with a slightly lower wing setup to try and extract a bit more top speed. He has used a bit of his battery. Al's still got 86. CZK near enough 100%, and Bell's got 90. So maybe it's not a setup thing. Maybe ACW's just used up a little bit of his battery just to try and close the gap. Might ride on board with the Haas driver. Have a look at the top speed of the top 4. Spicer's not terribly far behind this either. So everyone's in the fray right now. We've got plenty of time left from here to the checkered flag, and yeah. Oh, Bell sideways out in front.
That's the most common thing we would see.
From Bell.
Oh yeah, we've seen him have a loose setup, looking like a shopping cart. That's shopping cart, you guys say.
Oh, big understeer for Al, and ACW wasn't much better either. He missed the apex by a decent amount there, almost ended up in the next county. Head through the S's onto the hangar straight. CZK, he is closing in on the race leader, darts to the inside. Fairly simple move heading into Stowe. He takes the lead from Bell. Bell won't be too phased about that. He'll just send behind the Alfa Romeo for a little bit. Try and set up a counter-attack. Maybe on the next lap, maybe in a few laps' time.
Yeah, that was reacted there to Bell going a bit sideways there at Vale. Nearly had a bit of a moment. But crucial point though from CZK, for how much he's going to score. If he does end up finishing where he is, that's 10 points, which will help him help Alfa Romeo get a little bit closer to the Constructors' Championship, as we all know.
Yeah, unfortunately, his teammate Jim been down in 12th position. It hasn't been the best sprint race for him so far. We still have time for something to happen. But as of right now, everyone seems to be pretty chill. They're operating as they should be in a race like this, where this is the niche about fast tracks in F1 league racing. We get a lot of DRS drains, and frankly, not a lot happens in them except at the very front. Everyone's pretty evenly spaced out. Contrast is fairly close to his teammate, so we might potentially see a change in position between the Astons. I find it unlikely, though. But right now, it's just about the gamesmanship. It's about minimising time loss, trying to save up that battery ready for the final few laps when the drivers absolutely send it. There's no point sending it right now, because you're not going to break away from the train. You're not going to break away from the group. So it's all about saving that battery, using it appropriately at the right time. Try and get as much track position as you can while the field's bunched up. It's a patient game, KD.
It's a very patient game. Bet you it's that way for the top 10, because they are all in a DRS train. The only ones that can really do anything is really the top 2, as you mentioned. With Bell, well, maybe Al could get involved in the mix as he's going around the outside at Brooklands. Well, the inside line for Stowe. Sorry to cut you off there. He'll get in front of CZK to second place.
See, that's the two-edged sword about playing those kinds of games. I reckon CZK was backing off to make sure he didn't pass Bell, but as a result, he left himself vulnerable to Big Al. So Al was able to move on through into second place. Not that it should phase CZK, though.
Yeah. That's something you have mentioned before. It's like you got to be very careful how you play that sort of game. As I hold that thought, Al moves moves into the race lead as Warren gets a penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, hello. That's a bit close. A little bit of lawn mowing, I guess. There from Ryan Bell. Bit of a squeeze from Al at Bell chicane.
Yeah, that didn't look,
Whoa! Oh. Gee whiz.
Well, that didn't look great either, to be fair. Damn near invented a new S section in the first sector.
I'm mostly wondering how on earth did he keep that thing in one piece, really?
Yeah, how it's not in little bits stuck in a wall somewhere is beyond me. He countersteered that thing out of trouble somehow.
I think if I remember, Captain Schmeg about a couple of seasons ago had a similar crash exactly like that when 2021 crashing out at Abbey, getting too close to a car and then spinning out like that.
Yeah, that does sound vaguely familiar. A long time ago, though. But then again, it's quite easy to watch somebody who is losing control and then counter-steer their way into a barrier as CZK wants to make it 3 wide into Stowe. He has the inside line and takes the lead as Bell slides his way down to third.
That was ooh, hello. Contact, more contact there. Bell was really getting opportunistic there. And what do you know, he gets through. Somehow gets through. Despite the contact there, it turns 60 to 18.
Al doesn't go for the counter-attack here at the hairpin. Doesn't go for a move here either at turn 4. We head up towards the Wellington Straight. Using up some of that battery now, ACW. Trying to close the gap to the McLaren ahead. Will he have a go here at Brooklands? No. Just a bit too far behind to have a proper go.
Can't really do much of anything, really. Bell's got to try to close that gap back up at 7/10. Oh, and that's not gonna be good for Kebab there. 3 second, 3 second penalty. That was definitely gonna cost him big time as Bell goes off the circuit. And what do you know, gets a 3-second time penalty to add more salt into the wounds.
Yeah, doesn't it what? Doesn't it what? Well, CZK now has a real opportunity of winning this race. He's got margin to Bell, and he doesn't really have to worry about him catching up. He can let him go if he wants to, and just let the penalty do all the talking. But, I'm sure CZK himself would like to cross the line in first position. But as it stands, Bell, with the penalty, has essentially taken himself out of the running.
Yeah. I know CZK would definitely want to stay in front. But then you also got to think about the championship in terms of the, you're fighting the team's championship. If that does come to that scenario, like if he's too close, have to just let him get through. Get the penalty doing the talking, like you said. Something I would do. But if it's not in that sort of position, then don't worry about it.
Battery advantage definitely to Bell right now. He's got 70-odd%. He heads onto the old pit straight, closing in on the race leader. He'll definitely get by exiting the S's here. Should get by pretty easily. But yeah, it's all down to CZK whether he wants to fight for the position or just stay in behind. I mean, theoretically speaking, Bell could argue and get the penalty removed. So that's something you got to consider.
True, but from the mistakes he's made, I can't really see that happening. Aston Martin swapping places. That Matt Levy overtaking his team. Hey, hello there, Bags. That caught me a bit off guard there. Bags going around the outside of contrast there for 9th place. So on to the final lap.
2:10 separating the top two. CZK has an opportunity to try and take the lead back. Potentially here down the Wellington Straight. Bell, will he use that battery of his? Not yet. And I think CZK is quite happy to sit behind Bell. And now Al closes in. And ACW closes in.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a point where CZK will have to try to overtake Bell, I'm guessing. So that Al can have the advantage of overtaking him pretty much.
Kebab with a 3-second time penalty added on. Through the S's for the final time in the sprint. 4:10 separating the top two. Does Bell have enough margin in hand? He has a mega run through the S section, to be fair. Is it enough? Let's have a look. CZK gets close, looks, but can't fully commit. Oh, Bell gets sideways. Huge moment for Bell, but he keeps it in check. Through that final chicane, it will be Bell who crosses the line in first, but it's CZK who wins the sprint. Al second, ACW third.
As Blake Stevenson had a spin, I think, at Stowe. What it looked like.
Ben 11th, so no points for him.
No points for him, but 10 points for Alfa Romeo to do a bit of a close-up on Mercedes. Now that's 45 points separating those two teams.
All to play for then. Alpha definitely have a shot at this. They for sure have a shot. Ace Adele given driver of the day in the sprint. Sprint results then. CZK wins with Al second, ACW third, Spicer fourth, followed by Pato. Bell's penalty puts him down to P6, followed by Bags Liddell. Matt Plevy, eye contrast. Kebab rounds out the top 10. Jinbin just outside of the points in P11, followed by Stevenson and Warren. Apollo Pepsi, involved in a lap 1 incident, retired at the end of the first lap. He will start 14th on the grid for the main race in a few moments' time. And yeah, Bags, 13th to 7th. Not bad.
Yeah. No, good race overall. Good recovery after all that.
Alright. Main race. What kind of weather we got?
Well, if it'll be sunny, it'll be a typical British weather.
Mm.
It does look like a bit like typical British weather, but except it's not very moist.
No rain.
It's just cloudy. Yeah.
No rain yet.
Yes.
As we know, with approximate weather forecast accuracy, if there's clouds, there's a chance of rain. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Have to wait and see. Oh, this is it, KD. It all wraps up now.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got, what, 26 laps to come soon for the final time in this series.
Just be waiting on drivers to fine-tune their setups and strategies for the main event. Be very curious to see who starts on what tyre. As soon as we cut to the grid, it'll be light, sound, and away we go. Just waiting patiently. Taking their time.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Making sure their strategies are perfect. Can't afford to be a lap out of place or a leader short, I guess.
Well, I don't think this place burns fuel, if I remember correctly. I think you're even on the fuel gauge.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I know.
Alright then, we have 5 red lights and we're underway once again here at Silverstone. It's a nice start once again from CZK. He will now lead through turn 1. Oh, he used crash!
Oh my goodness! 3 cars involved in that. Safety, is that a safety car or virtual? Virtual safety car. Oh my days.
Spicer, Bell and Pato.
Jeez. What on earth was going on there? Just saw these two that just completely went off the track. Almost like a 2022 race at the start of it. Only without an Alfa Romeo upside down.
It's evolved into a safety car.
Oh, it has? Okay, I've just seen it now.
So,
Yep.
drama at the start. 3 cars involved. One of them out. One of them appears to not have damage somehow. And that's Bell on the soft tyre. Spicer's got a completely missing front wing. So he will be making a pit stop. Presumably, I'm going to guess he's going to go on to the medium compound tyre.
Yeah, he'll have no choice. Unless he can go back into pit lane and then go on back onto the hards, which will fulfill the 2-time requirement.
Al's in. Polo's in. Gives himself a speeding penalty.
There are penalties. More than that too. 10 seconds for a call out.
10?
I'll look at... Yeah, I'm going to look at the race director. Hang on. Okay. Spicer, 5 seconds for the collision with Pato. 5 seconds for Bell with the collision with Spicer. About a 5-second penalty with a collision with him in contrast.
Al's on
What?
inters.
Alice?
Al.
Oh, I just got off the race director, by the way. That's just why I was a bit confused. Interesting. Interesting, because it's not. The heavens haven't really opened yet, have they?
No, they have not. But there is one thing you got to remember about Silverstone. So evidently there must be rain on the way, right? That's the only reason why. Well, another reason is that he accidentally chose inters and he pitted onto those. So evidently there might be some rain on the way. Silverstone's pit lane is one of the longest on the championship calendar. It probably is the longest, actually, to try and drive through. Because you take it at 60 kilometers an hour, and it begins sort of at turn 16. So it takes an eternity to get through.
Yeah, you cut through the final 2 turns, and then, yeah, it takes an eternity.
So
I think you lose.
It's about like 26 or something seconds, isn't it, that you lose? Even more, maybe?
No, I probably would say at least 30 seconds you lose if you go into the pits.
So Al, if he's got this right, he's a pit stop ahead of everybody. He's 30 seconds ahead of everybody. Let's see what he does.
Yeah.
He's going back in. So it must have been the second thing. He made an oopsie.
Probably. But yeah, one of the 5 seconds I was just saying was, Apollo got a 5 second for the collision with Zach.
Okay.
That then added up to 10 seconds with him getting another 5 seconds for speeding, of course.
Going back onto the hard tyres. Does that count as a mandatory tyre compound requirement? Doing hards to inters, does that check?
Yes, it does.
Right.
Yeah, because you're using a different compound.
That's very strange.
It is very strange, but it's true.
So Al, he just wanted to mess with us, I guess.
I can't.
That was his goal.
Well, probably. Well, I mean, I know when it starts to rain, of course, when everyone goes to the inters, obviously the whole 2-tire requirement cancels out entirely. But, yeah, I would imagine that would be the case, because, yeah, an inter is considered a compound. And all.
I guess so. It's just a bit weird, as usual. Like, if an F1 team did that IRL, a lot of us would be scratching our heads for a while.
Yeah.
That'd be a Ferrari strat. We ran out of soft tyres to put on the car, so we had to put on inters to meet the tyre compound requirement.
The driver was fine, there was no terminal damage.
Wish Pato heard that message.
I feel sorry for him though. That's shameful, especially for fall race. You don't want to end up in a DNF, of course.
That turn 1, lap 1, yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, whatever the hell happened there, I'm guessing there was a bigger involvement than just those 3 cars off the road. Because, like I said, there were other collision penalties.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess that the drivers hooked wheels somehow, heading through turn 1, and essentially just drove each other off the racetrack. That would be my only guess.
Yeah, and a lot of the 5 seconds are gone. Zach's is gone. Apollo's served all his penalties. Yeah, and then a couple others, of course, did serve their penalties too. Bell. Actually, no, wait, no, Bell hasn't served his, has he? Oh, no, he has.
No, Bell has.
Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm confusing myself. It's Kebab, I'm mistaken. That's got the 5 seconds.
Oh,
yeah, very...
dear me.
I don't know if it will be rain though, if it does come, because the sun is breaking out. I do see the sunlight coming through. So, I mean, we won't count this out of the radar yet, but yeah. No, it's just a little note.
Yeah, it definitely looks brighter now. That's for sure. Yeah, it's going to be curious to see how this all pans out. Very curious.
Hopefully get through turn 1.
Well, that will be the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it for 9 laps in the sprint. I'm sure they can do it again here in the main race.
Well, yeah, you just gotta get, what, past about, what, a couple hundred feet into turn 1? So...
Yeah, how hard can it be?
Well, when you say that...
Hey, look, if they crash at turn 1, it ain't my fault.
No. No,
So commentators curse all you want. If these guys, some of the top split in the region, crash at turn 1 on a safety car restart, then that's their fault, not mine.
Yeah. No, don't blame the idiots that are talking. We're just here to talk.
Not my fault. Please don't crash at turn 1, lads, for God's sake.
Please.
Alright.
Well, here we go.
Here we go again. See that case bolted. He's got 6.5 tenths already.
Yeah, to ACW, he's really bolted out of there. Let's see, have we got through the first corner at least? Perfectly okay? Does seem like it, I guess. Belda goes way too deep into Village against Jinbin there, but he gets through. He's up into 8th place now. So yeah, we made it through. Congratulations, everybody.
Yay, boom, confetti. Bell. Hello, Stevenson. How you doing? Around the outside, now down the inside. No, can't quite get by the Red Bull yet. Now he's going to get by his teammate. He's up into 7th position. Next is Kebab in P6. TZK's had a terrific restart, up by 1.2 seconds.
Ooh. Bell, keep the car on the run, please. I just saw you lose it there, cops. It really has bolted at 1.4 seconds. I'm sorry, 1.4 seconds. Sorry, 1.5 now. After that 3/4 of a lap.
Oh, wow. Liddell and Contrast side by side. Heading into the Vale chicane. Oh, hello, Kebab. He gets awfully close to the situation. Oh, and down the inside, that's Club! Are you kidding me?
Jeez.
Since when do you pass there?
Well, Ryan Bell, I guess, proved it. That you can do. Oh my goodness me! That's contact, if I've ever seen one. Between Contrast and Bell. That was really aggressive.
Onto the Wellington Straight. It's a drag race between the Williams and the Aston Martin. It's ultimately won by High Contrast. With that inside line, he hangs on to P6. Yeah, Bell is not mucking around on those soft tyres. He made a move at Club, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Not an overtaking spot.
No.
Ever. That we've ever seen in either virtual or real life. Well, actually, no, I do take that back. We recently saw that with Hamilton, the 3 goes Hamilton in 2022.
Oh, that took a bit of circumstances to pull that off.
True, it did take circumstances, but it was still an overtake nonetheless.
Bell just shoved it down the inside of the final corner and somehow it stuck. Just robbed him of a place.
Moves up to 10. Trying to recover after his little incident on the first lap of the sprints. He's made up at least 4 spots so far. Now DRS is enabled.
CZK out in his own little world right now. 2.3 seconds the gap between him and ACW. As the Haas driver has got the Aston Martin and Matt Plevy right behind.
Yeah, I think at this stage, Alfa Romeo in this race would get 35? Oh no, they would get 36, I'm sorry. So yeah, they would be a little bit short getting towards the Mercedes.
Yeah, Jinbin needs to try and make up a few positions if he can, or just survive and maybe hope for the best. Big margin to try and overcome. He needs to try and score at least 16. I think on winning countback, Mercedes would still win it. So Jinbin needs to finish 4th or 5th with fastest lap. That can be between any driver. So.
Now comes Plevs to overtake ACW. Not that they don't kill each other this time, it was just a simple overtake.
Oh, but Bell does the honours instead! He hits the back of the Haas! Bagsadell is involved too! Off into the grass is Bell, tumbling down to last.
Well, I take back everything I just said. Gee whiz. As Bell's got damage, he goes into the pits. And to add to that, a 5-second penalty for speeding. Yeah, that was really very aggressive. I did see that Red Bull coming fast. I'm thinking, oh, maybe this might lead to something. Well, it definitely did.
Well, Kebab's now left the session. His AI is dropping down and down through the order. The Aston Martins are now 2nd and 3rd in this race. Still got a long way to go. Big Al moves up to 5th position. Spicer overtaking the AI now. Jinbin and Zach are battling for 9th place. Jinbin round the outside of left field. He's turned on the overtake, used all the curb, and he gets in front.
Yep. And Back's got damage meanwhile from that whole incident at Stowe. So he'll have to go in.
Yeah, I think I was riding on board with him. He saw the accident happen in front. They didn't react quite quick enough to try and get out of the way of the incident. It went straight into the back of, I believe, Bell. And that's the reason why Bell ended up in the grass out in no man's land.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I was on board with, I think, Plevs in that whole incident. So I didn't get the best of angles when I saw that. Bags goes in, yeah, not surprised since he's got the damage.
Yes. Kebab has rejoined the session. His AI hasn't pit. He's only lost track position. So at least he can be a bit thankful about that. But Bags, look at this. This is it's like you're crawling through here, quite literally. Medium tyres at the ready, as well as a new front wing. Oh, it's a long old service for car 95, and he's well and truly stuck at the back. He will have Bell for company though, as Al moves through. Bell gets a time penalty again for speeding. He goes back into pit lane. Not really sure why he's going back in. Ah.
That's why. I was going to say something about that.
Oh, I don't know why he didn't do it in the first place then. Why did he do an extra lap?
Don't know. Well, oh, maybe because the AI did. Pit crew did it. Because I've just noticed that he was pitting for Inters. Maybe that's why. I don't know. That's just a rough guess.
Spicer having a look but not committing to a move down the inside at Stowe. Aston Martin duo, Plevy and Contrast looking very solid in P2 and 3. They will have Al hunting them down though. The gap shrinks just by a little bit. Al with no DRS though.
Well, that's not a good thing for Apollo. I was just watching an onboard with Jinbin. He loses the bits at Club, and Apollo got mixed in the whole shabeel. He's got damage to the front wing of that Alpine.
A shame then. If he turns around, there we go, missing end plate on the right hand side. He will have to pit and get that thing fixed. And we're still not in the halfway stages of the race. We've still got a few laps to go before even that point. Still got a lot of laps to go until we see the checkered flag. ACW and Jinbin battling away through Luffield. It's a battle won at the moment by ACW. Jinbin will get DRS and probably will find a way back through. Try and take 8th place. Further in front though, Al has closed the gap down to P2 and 3. He's now only 1.3 seconds behind. Nice curb cam.
Curb cam's always good. Meanwhile, though, Aston Martin's changing places. Contrast now moves ahead of his teammate.
Nice little change of position as Spicer moves in front of Stevenson, and what do you know, Jim Bin gets in front of ACW. So, few changes up and down thanks to the power of DRS. But Al needs no such thing. He has clawed that gap down, and Apollo is into pit lane to fix his win.
Yeah, big shame.
Suppose the silver lining is that he's still got a long way to go and anything can happen, so...
Yeah, true.
Pace
Close
just
to the
hang in
halfway
there.
mark. Yeah, we are close to the halfway mark, so... Just easy to keep his head down and do the best you can, I suppose.
All you can do in a situation like that. All you can do.
Yep. You can score points too.
That's
in
it.
Position to do so. Bells off the session. That's not a big shock after what happened to him a few laps ago.
Bit surprised he didn't leave earlier when he retired in pit lane. But stuck around for something, not terribly sure what. Oh, Al's going to get some DRS assistance, alright. So he's going to close in that little bit more now on P2 and 3. So the battle's on then between orange and green. I'd say green has the advantage. They got two cars in this battle. I would say Al does have pretty decent pace right now.
Yeah. Two British cars against one, well, three British cars. I was going to say two from Silverstone, one from, oh goodness, where is McLaren based again?
Woking.
Oh, Oxford. Woking. I was thinking Oxford for a second, but that's not, that wasn't exactly it.
Woking. They're from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aston Martin, the Silverstone outfit. Mercedes from Brackley.
Red Bull, Milton Keynes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Got Williams from Grove and Alpina from Enstone. I think that's it for the British teams, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know Haas have got a base in the UK somewhere, but they're primarily based in Kannapolis in the United States.
Yeah, North Carolina. Like where their NASCAR base is, pretty much.
And then you got the two Italian teams with Scuderia Ferrari and AlphaTauri, which will be known as Racing Bulls.
Yeah, original.
It doesn't even have a lot of flavour to it. Like, it's not... Like, at least, like, Toro Rosso and AlphaTauri as Jinbin moves through on Zach Lauren. Scuderia Toro Rosso has character to it. Scuderia AlphaTauri has a bit of character to it. Racing Bulls.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Very little character to it, considering it is an Italian team.
Yeah. I mean, hell, it's based near the... Well, based near Imola. The team is. Yeah. So, Racing Bulls. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, like, I remember discussing this a while back with somebody about the, you remember the Las Vegas livery, right? The black and white. This is just a hypothetical. Sorry. A hypothetical theory I came up with is that I feel like that's like their tease of their upcoming colors for next season. Is what I'm thinking.
Fair enough, considering that their Vegas livery was a bit like left of field by comparison to what everyone else had. Like a lot of teams, they went hard with the Vegas theme, but AlphaTauri's was very, very different. So you might be right with that, in all honesty. I never really thought about it as Big Al moves up into second position, overtaking Matt Plevy. Oh, I like that theory. That's a solid one, I think. considering just how different the livery looked compared to what it normally was.
And then and then you look at the logo too. Like, if I remember, one was in black and like the outlines were black, and then like the whole background was solid white. Remember? Yeah, that's just like that. That's what really clicked in my head when I saw that. I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe that might be their teasing colors or something.
Yeah, racing bulls. It doesn't really just.
It doesn't mean anything.
Well, if you translate that into Italian, what would that be? That'll be like a Corsa, Toro Corsa or something, wouldn't it?
Toro Corsa. Yeah, Toro Corsa. Yes, something like that.
At least that's got a bit of flavour to it because it's Italian. It's an Italian team.
Yeah, well, I mean, what, you could have called it Scuderia Toro Corsa. But,
there you go. It's got a bit of character to it now. You know where it's from. You know where they're based because it's Italian.
Yeah, we're the idiots that came up with it in the comms box. They're the idiots in Milton Keynes that basically didn't think of that, I guess.
Thought of something terribly original.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll deal with it.
Yep, that's what we're gonna deal with.
ACW moves through on Jinmin. And of course there's one other team, haven't mentioned yet, Alfa Romeo, based in Switzerland. Of all places. Sauber. Peter Sauber.
Yep, which will no longer be Alfa Romeo, will just be Sauber.
Yep.
And then Alfa Romeo will partner up with us.
Medium that's ready for Al and mediums for Plevy as well, so they're going to send it, and they're going to try and keep their battle alive for what could be P2 on track.
Yeah, Contrast though was trying to go for another cut a little while ago. I think they might get Al and Plebs, and well, yeah, he does, what do you know, by a good margin as well. After going for a 2-lap undercut, he is now in 6th place with a 2.5 second margin as someone's gone off.
Spicer.
Yep, Spicer. That's left field and Woodcut. Oh,
yeah.
Almost as serious as Vettel did in 2021.
Yeah.
Where he's spun. Yes.
Oh goodness, that's a long time ago.
Ain't it warm?
The year has almost come to an end, KD, be scared.
Yeah, there's a lot of new things coming our way for Formula 1.
No new drivers though, they're all staying the same.
Yeah, no, we did get confirmation about one particular seat that thought was going to be up in the air. That was the Williams seat of Logan Sargent. He is going to stay at Williams for another year. So this is pretty much a make or break year for Logan Sargent, really, if he wants to keep the seat for at least the future in Formula 1.
Yeah, I think first priority for Mr. Sargent is to reduce the bill of the damages that he's done over the course of a year. I think if he achieves that alone, Williams would be very, very satisfied because, yeah, he got the award of the most expensive crasher of the year by a decent chunk over, Destructor of the year, that was it. Beating Lance Stroll.
I thought Sainz was P2, wasn't it?
Oh, probably after Vegas it would have been Sainz, yeah. After, it wasn't his fault, but he KO'd the Ferrari, yeah.
Yeah, Williams though definitely need to lower the bill. Albon wasn't too far away, if I'm totally fair, because he had $2.9 million worth of damage. Not that it was close to Sargent, but it was still pretty high. So yeah, they need to be more careful this coming season there, Williams.
Change of position again between Jinbin and Warren as CZK pits. Means as well that Jinbin probably won't pit this lap either. Never mind.
No, you were saying?
Well, knowing the game, he's going to get a double stack.
Yeah, he will.
Alright, battle on here. Stevenson gets through on Liddell. ACW gets through on Liddell. Does ACW get through on Stevenson? No, no.
Not close enough.
It's a slight double stack. Yeah.
He'll be alright.
Yeah. There's CZK. 2 seconds in hand, too.
Jinbit's now come out. He will come out behind. He'll just come out behind Bag, but by a pretty big margin. And he's just in front of the guy that he had an incident with, Polo Pepsi.
So yeah, even with CZK's efforts right now, this won't be enough for Alfa Romeo. They're going to score big. They're going to cut down the lead significantly in the team's championship, but it just won't be enough. Unless something big happens, and it needs to be big to bring Jinbin back into the fight.
Yes.
Alright, Stevenson, let's see what you can do then. Through the S's, that looked a bit wide there, through 11. Keeps it in check though, as he exits the S's, DRS open, he'll close in on the Haas, he'll try and set up a move here down the hangar straight. Down the inside, gets the job done.
Straightforward. Goes up to 7th position.
ECW won't... Oh, Stevenson, hello!
Oh, they're ghosted in each other.
Well, there's an overtake right there. Overtake of the race. ACW pulls off a blinder. Incredible.
Did he have a screen freeze?
I would guess there would be something, or just one massive lag spike. Either or.
Probably.
Regardless of which, ACW is 7th now. Stevenson can't get him back. He almost gets into the back of him.
Just a little bit.
You're close. Alright. You'll line up a pass on the next straight. We know how this pans out.
It wouldn't. It's definitely not an overtake.
Oh, you're right. The gap's way too big. 10th and a half. Too much.
Yeah, ACW will keep that position.
Oh my god, he's gaining. He's passing. Incredible overtaking.
Wow. With an 8 of the rear wing. Just to reduce the drag.
Incredible. Such skill.
Not that a certain someone has done that before. Not that a certain someone has actually overjoyed themselves on that, but never mind.
Yeah, submitting an overtake over the weekend, it's just them passing in a DRS zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen those before.
Yeah, even though it's a double overtake, which is cool, but it still doesn't mean it's skill.
Just DRS doing its thing.
Yeah. You get the 8 of the rear wing to give you that extra boost. Speaking of that, Al did that turn 6 there at Brooklands.
Yep. Just needs to try and pull away from the 2 behind. Try and build up a margin if he can. Bit difficult though. With how fast the racetrack is, he'll probably find a few hundredths if he's actually got a bit of car speed. Look at that, he's increased it now to 6/10. But yeah, high contrast will gain that all back down the hangar straight. So the gap will probably keep fluctuating. If Al makes a mistake, then both Astons are in the fight as ACW gets Blake back with sheer skill with DRS. The sheer skill of pushing a button.
Pushing a button and having the rear wing do its job.
That's it. Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
TZK's found traffic, and it's Sebastian Spicer on those hard tyres. I hazard a guess he pitted earlier in the race, didn't he? Yes, he did. Zach Warren's done the same.
Well, yeah, remember he got caught in that lap 1 incident and had damage.
Yeah, so they're trying to do the rest of the race on their tyres, and they're properly cooked. Apollo's in for softs. Lab's AI is still dawdling around.
Alright, ugh, I'm sorry.
I did the same thing, so...
Well, the Spicer is probably at like 55% at least on the wear. Yeah, those tires are just cooked, like as you said. Not going to gain much of anything. He's just going to keep losing time to the cars behind, who probably will slow and catch up, I imagine.
In saying that though, there's probably a decent chance they could hang on to a podium if their tyres just stay inflated.
Oh yeah, true. Oh, actually, I just remembered something. Zach Warren, he actually pitted early too. He's right now, I don't know why we didn't catch this, but yeah, he's right now our actual race leader.
It's a neato little strategy they've brought themselves into.
Yeah.
They've got a ton of track position. Now, they're going to lose it to CZK. That much is obvious. There's no way Zach's holding off this dude. Yeah. He's just lightning quick at the moment on those tyres. But there's a decent chance that these two drivers, Warren and Spicer, there's a chance they can finish on the podium. Their main challenge in regards to this is Big Al in 4th place. He is 4.2 seconds behind. He's on substantially fresher tyres compared to both Spicer and Warren. So it'll be an interesting dynamic to keep an eye on between Spicer, between Al and also Warren. But I think Warren's got a big enough gap that I genuinely do think the podium's on for him.
I think you're right. But yeah, definitely not with CZK coming. Because yeah, look at the gap now. It's 2 seconds. It's closed up a little bit more. Yeah. On this particular lap, nearly over a second, actually, on this lap.
So yeah, CZK, he'll line something up as Jinbin gets a 3-second time penalty. Stevenson takes ACW again. Now have 5 laps to go, and it's 1.5 seconds between the top two.
Pure skill there with DRS.
That's it.
Yep. It feels like it's been an eternity, this race, hasn't it?
Yes. It
feels like, yeah. It's just one of those races, I suppose. I just like keep realizing myself, it's like, oh, it's lap 22. And yet we still haven't finished yet.
Yeah, sprint rounds do be like that. If it was a regular round, we would have been finished. But with a sprint, there's a lot of racing that we need to get through. So it does add on somewhat. But yeah, there's not been a hell of a lot of, racing. There's been a lot of following, more or less.
And early drama, that's the only thing, too.
Oh, yeah, that was the most shocking thing about the race, was the lap 1 shunt between Pato Bell and Spicer, who finds himself in 3rd.
Yep. And here comes CZK, pretty much straightforward move. Takes back the race lead, just like that.
He'll have a clear track ahead, get his head down and just drive on away. He doesn't need to push, he doesn't need to be over aggressive, just needs to get it home. Done the job he's needed to do. Warren in P2, he's got 4.8 seconds in hand to Spicer in 3rd, who is still leaking time to Big Al. That's sitting at about 1 second now, and Al will get some DRS assistance. Should make mincemeat of Spicer on this particular lap, KD. I think he'll line it up on the hanger.
Probably. We'll close up the gap with DRS by about 10, at least 10.5, 2 tenths. At least there. ACW overtaking Blake Stevenson at Brooklands. With what do you know, DRS.
Speed and power, baby.
Yep.
Well, it's all about.
Roll, reducing the drag. Yeah, those tires have got to be cooked for Spicer. 21 laps he's done on those things.
Yep, and because of the lack of speed he's got, he is bunching up this group quite significantly. Out to the outside. DRS open. How many cars will pass Spicer? Al will get through. Contrast will get through. Contrast going for third. He's got it.
Wow. He's got the speed there, doesn't he, there? He just blitzed on by.
Spicer lost all the positions, KD. Down to 6th.
Yeah, no, it was sitting duck. As expected. Kenny Hale, though, for 6th against Stevenson. Gap's 5 seconds to him, so... Yeah, as long as he doesn't get a puncture, he should be okay.
Same gap between Contrast and Warren as well, so... These guys... I don't know how hard they're going to fight each other. I don't know whether or not they'll work together to try and catch up. But they've got 3 laps, and the gap's 5 seconds. I don't think they're catching up.
No. Yeah, I think Warren might hang on at least.
But also tyre condition too. There might be a puncture. Yeah. Excuse me, might be a puncture just waiting to happen.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. You know, yeah, because you're pretty much handing the reins to the Codemaster gods. Probably not going to puncture. Which is the stupidest thing ever, because it's just based on luck whenever that bit happens.
There's very, very little a driver can do to avoid a puncture as Big Al moves up to 3rd position. ACW takes Stevenson again. With DRS again, he moves up to 7th again.
Rinse, cycle, repeat.
That's it.
2 laps to go here in this British Grand Prix. Lap 25 and 26. And yeah, it's still got about a 3rd. Gap has shrunk a little bit between Al and Warren, but yeah, it's only by just a second, or close to a second on that lap, I think that was.
So it'll be down to a mistake or punch. Oh, hang on, 3 seconds. Where's the time gone? That time's all disappeared. It's down to 3.2.
I don't see anything wrong with the tires. They look okay.
He must have just made a mistake.
Could have. Yeah, no, those tires look inflated. He's just praying for those spaghetti tires to just get him home. 22 laps he's done on those things. 22. Although Spicer's done 23. Even more than that.
Nice. Oh, I see what I might have done. I might have looked at the gap between Warren and CZK and not the gap between Al and Warren. Yeah. That might have been what I got caught out by. Gap's down, properly shrunk now. It is under 3 seconds.
2.9. Tires still inflated on the final lap here.
All comes down to this then. CZK out in front, doing what he needs to do. Put together another fine drive. Warren in 2nd place, hunted down by Al, by contrast by Plevy. This is their final shot of getting one more podium finish in this season, in the Elite Series. Contrast 4/10 behind. He is not quite close enough to attack into Brooklands. Unless he sends a Hail Mary into this corner, which he does not. ACW gets Spicer. Stevenson will get Spicer as well. His hard tyres have definitely seen better days. And he moves down to 8th place. 1.9 seconds to go. There is the Scarlet Red Ferrari. There is the Papaya Orange McLaren hunting him down corner by corner. The gap is shrinking. But is there enough racetrack left for Al to jump up to 2nd? Through the S's, the gap shrinks even more. I don't think he'll get DRS. No, he doesn't.
Nope.
I think Eye Contrast is just too far behind. No, not quite. A look to the inside. A dive bomb here at Stowe. A final gasp. Heading up towards the Vale Chicane, CZK meanwhile will win the British Grand Prix. And it will be Zach Warren who finishes a brilliant second. 24 laps he's done on those hard tyres. He made the strategy work and he finishes on the podium with Big Al completing the top 3. And with Jinbin crossing the line in 9th position, it confirms that Mercedes AMG are the team's champions for Elite Series in Season 9. Not quite enough points for Alfa Romeo.
Yep, fell short. But congratulations to Mercedes on their efforts to get the Constructors' Championship.
Fastest lap to Bags Liddell as well. So the points haul for Alfa Romeo. You get 30 for CZK. I believe it was 9th for Jinbin, so 37. It's an 8-point margin between the top 2. Final victory of the season taken by CZK. Terrific drive from him. A terrific strategy from Zach Warren. He finishes in P2 and Big Al will complete the podium places in 3rd. The unofficial results then of this British Grand Prix. CZK is your race winner by 7.6 seconds over Zach Warren, who started from 13th on the grid, pulled off a unique one-stop strategy and finished in P2. Big Al in 3rd, followed by Eye Contrast and Matt Plevy. ACW 6th in front of Spicer and Stevenson. Jimbin P9 and Bags Liddell rounds out the top 10. We have Apollo Pepsi P11, followed by the AI of Kebab. 2 retirements of Ryan Bell and G-Force Pato, a strange one on the first lap, sending him into the outside wall. He was our first retirement and brought out the only safety car of the race. Oh.
And that concludes it all for Elite Series.
It does for Elite Series. It does indeed. Ah, dearie me. Yeah, that's right. That's right. If he wants to join, he's got to turn on his PlayStation. Considering he's on PC. But I think, folks, frankly, I'm quite tired. I think KD's more or less the same.
Yeah.
It's been an awfully long season. And we're coming towards the final stages of it. I'm sure a lot of us will be just hoping to get to the break as soon as we possibly can. And I think KD, another championship in the books, dominated by Humphreys and Mercedes.
Yeah, no, it was a great season for Humphreys, of course. Dominated the season. We all know how quick he is, and he keeps showing it. Kept showing that throughout the entire season. Congratulations to him, and congratulations all to Mercedes on the Constructors' Championship.
Thank you again for joining me in the comms box as well.
Oh, of course, anytime. Always enjoy your company for sure.
Yeah, a long season for the pair of us. We had a few interesting races here and there, but yeah, a long one. Be all over soon. I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to end the stream. And this championship. We do have a couple of races to go until the season ends, but for the Elite Series, I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator, as always, is KD1997. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. Until next time, it's goodbye.